This AI girl never expected the teacher would turn her into a class service bot. Whenever any classmate needed something, she would provide any help without question. Just 2.5 days ago, she was just an ordinary robot. Aside from some built-in defense systems, she was no different from any other robot. The teacher easily dodged all her attacks, even using a piece of chalk to deflect her last bullet. But suddenly the robot began to advance. She quickly realized her mistakes. She opened fire on the teacher, but was still completely evaded. Yet during the final show-off, the teacher failed. Turns out the robot's bullet suddenly changed trajectory, firing 2 bullets from the same, creating a blind spot. She finally managed to win the teacher, even though this time it was only a 0.001% chance. This time it would be 0.003%. Congratulations, your assassination success rate would be as high as 9%. This was the editing that created by humanity's top scientists. Over the minutes of folding, the robot attempted assassinations concepts. Bullet casings covered the entire classroom, but she didn't have a clean approach. The students became louder. Not only did they not focus on facts, they also had to clean up a mess. So during class the next day, the students tied the robot. This greatly reduced her assassination success rate. It even caused glitches, so she called headquarters for help, and the teacher suddenly telling her that getting free was actually simple. She just needed to get along with the students, and more importantly, even if she killed the 10 billion bounty or good scientists, this directly impacted the students' interests. Soon the teacher pulled out a memory card. The regulations said he couldn't harm students. Upgrading her program was allowed. The robot was touched first, so what was a research shop application doing in her system? Seeing his little secret exposed, the teacher looked embarrassed. The next morning, students suddenly noticed the robot had gotten bigger, and the once cold and mechanical code was now unusually loud. Even able to chat with everyone, the teacher quickly said this upgrade cost him 200 grand. Now he had for 35,000. The robot also apologized for what happened before. Some students still thought this was just a program response. So he flew by their two parents. The robot felt hurt. She called herself a worthless college student and started crying. The student who bad mouthed her was immediately shamed. The robot quickly tried to smooth things and she used her social skills perfect, saying she would not work together with everyone and wouldn't cause trouble by acting alone. During the first class of the day, the teacher called her a student speaking class. Leave is our loss. The robot quietly wrote the answer on the back. The teacher scolded her for helping, and after spending some time together, the robot had become close with everyone in class. The teacher realized that this stuff his popularity would be stolen, so he told everyone to look at it, saying he could also have a handsome face. But no one paid him the attention. The robot was so kind now. The students decided to give her a name. Since she was a disciplined, she named her little grade. The robot was thrilled. Good times never last. At noon, the scientists snuck into the classroom. What they saw made their jaws drop. They didn't weapon and create heavy helmets, so they started overhauling her. Anything, all companies unrelated to assassination. As the world's most advanced combat machine, she really needed to master various weapons. Not only that, the scientists played their it and made the teacher stop modifying, or it would be considered sabotage. If students tied the robot up, they would be held liable for damages. The teacher had no choice. It was an order from above. When class stopped, the students grew tense again. Only Bill Green would start shooting at the floor. But the next moment, Bill Green pulled out a huge bouquet of flowers.